Today, we are releasing the New Jersey PIRG Education Fund's 34th Annual Trouble in Toyland Report. When we first released Trouble in Toyland 34 years ago, there were no standards for toxics in toys like lead and cadmium. Recalled toys were regularly left on store shelves, and children were sent to the emergency room with choking hazards on a regular basis. Every year, we uncovered detectable and hidden dangers in dozens of toys and noticed that regulators lacked the ability to keep kids safe. 33 years later, our Trouble in Toyland report has uncovered high levels of lead in fidget spinners, smart toys with data security risks, and choking hazards, as well as other threats. By revealing these threats, the report has prompted over 150 toy recalls, driven legislation like the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act, and empowered parents to keep dangerous toys out of their homes. Toy safety has improved over the last 30 years, but dangerous and toxic toys still remain on store shelves. This means that parents need to be vigilant to ensure that they can keep these hazards away from their children, and manufacturers and regulators must ensure that all toys are safe before they end up in the child's hands. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, hundreds of thousands of children every year go to the emergency room with toy-related injuries. This year's Trouble in Toyland report identifies 3 categories of toy hazards: detectable threats, hidden toxics, and recalled toys, as well as gives toy safety tips to parents for how they can avoid these hazards with their children. First, parents can keep detectable dangers away from their homes through simple in-home monitoring and testing. Last year, Ubi connecting bath toys and hundreds of thousands of wooden vehicles sold at Target were recalled for choking risks. Luckily, parents can test small toys for choking hazards in a really simple method by using a toilet paper roll. Take a small piece of a toy, drop it through the toilet paper roll like that, and if it drops through the toilet paper roll, then it's likely a choking risk and should be kept away from children under 3 years old. Additionally, uninflated or broken balloons are the primary cause of suffocation deaths from toys and should be kept away from children under 8 years old. Loud noises are another detectable danger when they exceed the standards set by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Audio tests found that Hacktoy's police car and Kiko's noise blaster likely violate these CSPC standards. Sometimes loud toys are just a little annoying. If they're too loud, they can be dangerous to your children's developmental hearing. And while you may not have the equipment to test for noise hazards at home, there's a really simple way to deal with this situation. You can play with the toy itself and just hold it near your head, and if it's too loud for you, it's likely too loud for your child. You can remove the batteries, put tape over the speaker, or reduce the volume in order to address this issue. The third detectable toy hazard worth highlighting is focus tools marketed to kids. In just over a month, 2 doctors at a hospital in Portland, Oregon, pulled 54 small magnets from 4 children. These types of small, powerful magnets can be used in construction sets and sculpture kits and can cause serious harm if they are ingested. Unfortunately, toy safety standards that were set for these small magnets were overturned in 2016. We think that the Consumer Product Safety Commission should create new standards for these small magnets. The second category the report uncovers are the hidden toxic dangers in toys like lead, boron, and cadmium. In recent years, slime has become a popular toy for kids, and for the second year in a row, our research revealed that in 4 out of the 4 slimes that we tested, there were levels exceeding the European Union standards of boron. Boron is a dangerous chemical, and medium to high doses can cause nausea, vomiting, and other long-term health damages. The U.S. currently has no safety standards for borax in children's products, and without a warning label, parents can't know whether or not these products are dangerous. We're calling on policymakers to require labeling and health-based standards for children's products with high boron levels. The last line of defense against dangerous toys is the recall system, which helps remove dangerous toys from the market. Unfortunately, these toys often remain in use or available on resale sites because parents aren't sufficiently alerted about recalls. We were able to purchase InnoCheer's instrument set and VTech's musical elephant shaker, which were both recalled more than a year ago. Before using an old or pre-owned piece or a toy from an online marketplace, garage sale, or passed down from a family member, parents should confirm that the toy has not been recalled by visiting saferproducts.gov. And the CSP or the CPSC and manufacturers must do more to notify consumers about the dangers that recalled toys pose through direct notification and aggressive marketing. Kids are safer from toy hazards than ever before because of the work of advocacy groups, elected officials, and the US Consumer Product Safety Commission. But with new threats appearing and old dangers still lurking, there's more that can be done to keep kids happily playing at home instead of ending up sick or in the emergency room. In the meantime, anyone about to buy a toy for a child this holiday season can check out our full set of tips at toysafetytips.org and learn to evaluate potential risks and identify toys on the market that pose a serious hazard. Thank you.
So back in September, after just getting home from a long day at work, my husband was getting the kids ready for bed while I was getting their clothes out for school. All of a sudden, I heard Marco, my 3-year-old, screaming and crying from the bathroom. When I ran out, he was making weird faces, but wasn't bleeding, visibly hurt, or acting strange. For a few seconds, I thought he was choking, but I wasn't sure what he may have swallowed. By the sigh of relief on his face, he looked like he now may have swallowed something. I told my husband to go check the bathroom, and he now found small magnetic balls on the ground. Now, my older 2 kids were screaming and yelling, but I told them to calm down because he was crying and therefore he was breathing. Even at 3, Marco isn't the kind of child who puts things in his mouth. But on that day, we realized that he definitely swallowed these items. He shyly hid his face in the blanket and told me he just wanted to go to sleep. I remember thinking, can he just pass these or not? I quickly jumped online to see what I should do next, and in the meantime, he actually fell asleep on my bed. While searching and reading article after article on magnets online, I found out that they could be very dangerous if you swallowed them. I grabbed Marco and jumped into the car and headed over to Hackensack University Medical Center's pediatric emergency room. The nurse, when I entered the door, noticed Marco's coloring was gray and took us right into the x-ray room, basically cutting several other patients due to the emergency. The x-ray confirmed that he swallowed not 1, but 2 magnets, and they were stuck together in his throat, clamping skin together dangerously close to his windpipe. That's when I met Dr. Siegel and Dr. Qureshi's team, who told me how they were going to treat my son. My family and I are forever grateful for the care our son received.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for coming to Hackensack University Medical Center first. I think once the magnets were identified in Marco's airway, we admitted him, monitored him closely to make sure that the magnets didn't move and cause any kind of obstruction or breathing problems. And then he was taken to the OR by Dr. Qureshi, where the magnets were safely removed. But he was lucky. He was lucky that they didn't end up obstructing his airway and causing breathing difficulty. They were sitting right at the top of his airway, but not blocking it. He's lucky that they didn't end up in his stomach, where because there were magnets, they could lead to an intestinal obstruction that could lead to surgery. And he's really lucky that everything went very smoothly and very well, and he was able to be discharged later that day. But not all kids are so lucky with some of these toys. They can cause many problems that are much more dangerous and require surgery or even worse.